For years, Brad Pitt lived beneath a glare so blinding that it turned every relationship he touched into a headline, a spectacle, or a mystery, leaving the world to assume they knew the man behind the magazine covers, when in truth, he was carrying a private emotional history he rarely allowed himself to speak aloud. Long before Hollywood, long before he became Brad Pitt, he was William Bradley Pitt, born December 18, 1963, in Shawnee, Oklahoma, raised in a conservative Christian household, where his father managed a trucking company and his mother counseled students. And when the family moved to Springfield, Missouri, he grew up loving the open fields and quiet rhythms he later called Mark Twain country. Excelling in debate, sports, and school theater, early glimpses of the drive and confidence that would define his future. After enrolling at the University of Missouri in 1982, he found himself drawn more to film than to his journalism classes. And with only 2 credits left, before graduating, he filled his car with his belongings in 1986 and drove to Los Angeles without a job, using odd work chauffeuring, delivering refrigerators, even sweating inside a giant chicken costume to fund acting classes and auditions until a string of minor roles eventually led to the moment that changed his life. His brief but unforgettable turn as J.D. in 1991's Thelma and Louise, a role that transformed him from a struggling newcomer into Hollywood's newest obsession. Fame, however, didn't make love any simpler. Beginning with Juliette Lewis, whom he met in 1989 when they were both young, impulsive, and trying to find their footing in the industry. And though she was only 17 and he in his mid-22s, their relationship burned brightly. Passionate, messy, fearless, and he would later admit it remained one of the most meaningful chapters of his life. Then came Gwyneth Paltrow, whom he met while filming Seven in 1994, a woman who brought him a sense of steadiness, sophistication, and shared ambition he had never experienced before. And by 1996, he stood on the Golden Globe stage calling her the love of my life, before proposing soon after, only to lose the relationship in 1997, when Gwyneth, then only 24, confessed she wasn't ready for marriage, a breakup that deeply hurt Brad, and even devastated her father, Bruce Paltrow, who adored him and believed their future was destined. Next came Jennifer Aniston, the public's favorite love story, a relationship marked by warmth, humor, and undeniable comfort, culminating in a fairy tale Malibu wedding in 2000 that Hollywood celebrated as perfection. Yet behind the facade, differing priorities, demanding schedules, and Brad's growing artistic restlessness slowly weakened their bond, leading to their separation in 2005, made far more painful by his growing connection with Angelina Jolie during Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a relationship that evolved into a global phenomenon as they raised 6 children, together before imploding in 2016 inches. A storm of allegations, custody battles, and public scrutiny that seemed to stretch endlessly. Through all these rises and falls, Brad eventually admitted privately that Juliette represented his wild youth. Jennifer was his emotional safe haven, Angelina his most turbulent chapter. But the love he never fully released, the one whose loss taught him the most about himself, was Gwyneth Paltrow. A relationship that didn't end through betrayal or anger, but simply through timing, leaving him with a quiet truth he carried for years, that sometimes the love that hurts the least while you have it is the one that lingers the longest after it's gone.